Hello everybody, my name is Megan and welcome to my October wrap-up. So, October was the Royal Readathon hosted by the lovely Becca and Liv. I have wrote down all the books I read and then did not write down all the prompts that they worked for. So let me get up my list. I read 9 things, which is more things than I needed to read to hit all the prompts, and yet I still did not read the team book, so love that for me. But yes, okay, so I didn't read The Princess Saves Herself, which was the team book, so I was on Team Princess, which was Liv's team. The only reason I joined that team was because I wanted to read The Princess Saves Herself. No, scrap that. I wanted to read The Princess Will Save You. The Princess Saves Herself is a very different book. But I did read things, and I'm going to go through them in rating order, or like my favourites. So I have 2 standout favourites, and a lot of 4 stars and 1 3.5 star. It was a pretty good rating month for me. So the first book I have to talk to you about is my 3.5 star of the month, and it was Mina and the Undead by Amy McCall. I really enjoyed this book. It is about a girl who goes to stay with her sister in New Orleans for the summer after she finishes like high school. I think she's like 16, so she'll be like moving on to college, I think, and her sister moved over to America for uni. She comes to stay with her, someone gets murdered and the sister gets blamed, so she's trying to help solve that. And it takes a lot of inspiration from Buffy, so there's like the quippy relationship communication, and yeah, it did very much read like a YA, so it was very easy to read, very fast-paced, and not necessarily what I look for in a slightly spookier book, but it had a diverse cast of characters. I had a good time, and I will carry on and read the sequel, so 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it. Next, we have just a whole host of 4 stars, so I'm going to start with the only physical one that I have because it just feels easiest to talk about it and then move on to the ones that I have to like put a picture up for. But we have The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. Oh, Mina and the Undead counted for adventure. I didn't write down what the prompts were or why they would fit, so it counts for an adventure, and I can't remember what that specific prompt, who it was relating to as a princess, because it could they all have adventures, you know, could be any of them, but that's what I went for. And then for The Bane Chronicles, I gave this one 4 stars. This is a short story collection by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan and Maureen Johnson, following Magnus throughout his lifetime and some of the adventures that he went on. It was an enjoyable time. There were stories I definitely liked more than others, some I had no thoughts on at all. So The Runaway Queen, sort of a non-event. The Rise of the Hotel du Mort, also a non-event. What Really Happened in Peru, I also didn't really care for. But then we have Vampire Scones and Edmund Herondale and The Midnight Air, which was set in like pre-Infernal Devices, pre-Last Hours. I was obsessed, loved it. And then we had some cute Malik moments, which I loved. And yeah, just generally an interesting look into Magnus's relationship with Shadowhunters, with other Downworlders, and his, not development as a character, because we didn't get a lot of development, we got a lot of jumping through different aspects of his life, but just the tenets of his character and how he believes in things and interacts with people as a warlock throughout the ages. It was really interesting and I really enjoyed it. But there were weaknesses in the writing that definitely came through. I'm not sure if it was because there were multiple authors or because it was just released a while ago and Cassandra Clare had not yet sort of developed as a writer, but there were some moments where I was like, damn, could this be any more obvious that they are showing and not telling us something? But I did really like it. Okay, brief intermission to talk about how terribly the Dreamer trilogy is named. Over. Other 4 stars, none of which I physically own, but I will be, hopefully, getting some of them at some point. We have The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, which I had an audio arc of. 4 stars. For some reason it didn't hit the same as the first one, which I gave 5 stars, which was the Exhep. Don't know why, which is odd, right? It's weird. That even though I think this one might be better, it didn't hit the same, and so it's not a 5-star book. But anyway, this is about Vivi's cousin. I can't remember her name. That's bad. Maybe it's not as memorable. And Reese's like brother, who's a bit of a dick. And he comes to town, opens a rival witchy shop across the road from Gwen. Remembered her name, don't remember his. Whoops. And then something is happening in the town, something weird. And they team up to figure it out. And it's sort of reluctant, like instant attraction, but they hate each other. But do they hate each other? Kind of thing. And it was really good, and there's like a talking cat, and it was a good time. It was just not my favourite, but I did really like it. Highly recommend. Definitely a good Halloween romancy kind of book. Then we have The Electric Air by Victoria Lee, which is the concluding book to The Fever King, which is about Gnome, who had been infected by this magical illness, and then he survived, and people who survive wake up with powers, and he is taken in by like the military leader and forms a relationship with his ward, and things will go a bit Pete Tong from there. And this is the sequel where things just get even more wrong. And I was so stressed the entire time. I was sending Maddie messages like, how could you not warn me that everything was so messy? Because it's one of Maddie's favourite series and she's the only reason that I was reading it, and this fit the dystopia prompt. And it was the only dystopian book I read, and I read it specifically to fit the dystopian prompt so I could try and hit all the prompts for the Royal Readathon. And then I still didn't. But it's fine. It's fine, I'm over it. I'm over it. Also, The Kiss Curse I counted as a deal as well as an adventure. But yeah, this one, it was really good. It was just too slow in parts and too quick in others, and then the ending, it was like speedrun. Like, there was 10 pages max maybe to wrap up everything. Like a big thing went down and then it was just over, and there was like 5 minutes left of the audio. I'm like, what do you mean? But other than that, it was really good. Highly entertaining duology, despite the fact that I was so anxious the entire time. Lots of discussion around sexual trauma and a lot of political discussions, and it was interesting. A lot of discussions around consent. It was good. Next we have The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. This is her adult debut and is sort of a lyrical exploration of fairy tales and mythological stories, and it's about a man who marries a woman but maybe he doesn't know who she is, because the one thing she asks him to do is not look into her secrets. And that's fine until they go back to her creepy family home and he is asked to look into the secrets by the house, and things start unraveling, and it was beautifully written. It was just, I don't know what it could have done better, but I got to the end of it and I was like, that was really good, but, you know, like, I loved it, but, and I can't tell you what the but was, but there was something that was missing. But I did really, really like it, and it comes out next March, and you should definitely look out for it. It's so well written. It's made me very excited to go back to the Roshani Chokshi that I own. I have a couple of her YA books that I'm now like really excited to get to. Next we have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is the first book in a duology that comes after the only other series of hers that I've read, which is the Kiss of Deception series. Don't know if it has another name, but it follows part of the Royal Guard almost, as she is sent to find a war traitor, like a war criminal, and infiltrates this like rebel kingdom who don't subscribe to any rule, and it's sort of enemies to lovers. It's dual POV, they have to work together, it's like forced proximity, and I really liked it. Like, is it the best thing I've ever read? No. Is it the most original? No. But like, was it entertaining? Was I invested? Am I very excited to get to the sequel? Yes. So yeah, pretty solid 4-star for me there. Again, it didn't have something really special about it. Like, I wasn't like dying to get to the end of the book. I wasn't dying to pick it up. I haven't gone out and bought the sequel. I'm waiting for it from my library, but I did really enjoy it and I am going to continue. So, and the covers are stunning, so I do want to buy them eventually. And my final 4-star, my battery's dying, that's perfect, is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, and I will tell you about it once I've changed the battery. Hello, sorry if the angle has changed, but yes, My Best Friend's Exorcism. Yeah, this is a book about two best friends, one of whom gets possessed, and the other friend is trying to figure out what's going on with her friend, why she's suddenly showing up to school and she stinks, why she's freaking out at her other friend's boyfriend, and then suddenly she's looking better than ever and just causing so many problems for everybody. So it's about the friend trying to deal with that. I will say there are some content warnings for this, one of which I was not expecting until there was an actual warning for it in like the narrative of the book, because it's told from the friend's perspective. So we have main character and we have main character's best friend who gets possessed. Main character is telling it from the future, so she's recounting what happened, and she mentions that maybe a dog doesn't come out of it well, and like, I was sad about it. I was sad, and it was a moment that happened. But yeah, it was well told, it was engaging, it had a good atmosphere, and I really enjoyed it. It just didn't have 5-star feelings for me. But again, I really love the cover, so I'm definitely going to be picking it up so I can physically own it. And I'm very excited to get to more Grady Hendrix books, which I'm sure Jem will be very happy about. And finally, we're on to my 5 stars. I'm so excited about my 5 stars. So first we have Bunny by Mona Awad, which again, I'm sure Jem will be very happy about. Me and Chloe from Chloe's Persistent Bookworm. But he read this and it was really, really odd. Like, really odd. It's about a girl who goes to a school. It's a very prestigious school. I think she's doing some kind of master's doctoral program in creative writing, and she's in a class with just four other people. I think there's 4 bunnies. Let's go with 4. And they are in like this weird little cult, and they call each other Bunny, and they all do the same thing all the time. And then they invite her to one of their little cult sessions, and weird things start happening. And there's a best friend who's like, not sure this is a good idea, and everything just gets really, really, really weird. And it's so well written that you're reading it and you're like, yeah, okay, this is weird, but yeah, okay. And you carry on reading it and you're like, okay, I'm still with you, I think. And then it carries on and you're like, what is happening? But I had a really good time, which is weird to say, but true. So yeah, desperate to get my hands on this one now, and it was good. Had a good time. Not sure I recommend it to everybody, but if you're interested in it and you like weird books, this could be for you. And finally, my last 5-star and maybe favourite book of the month is Down Comes the Night by Alison Saft. I've not told you what the other books were for Royal Readathon. You know, it's over. I tracked everything. Like, just gonna have to trust me. You know, it's fine. This one is excellent. It's an enemies to lovers. She's the bastard niece of the queen, and she's a healer. And so this kingdom, not everyone has magic. The people who do have magic have healing magic. So she's really important to the kingdom, but the queen hates her. So she gets offered this chance to go to a neighbouring kingdom that isn't involved in the war that this country is at. And in return for providing this healing service, this lord that has invited her will convince his country to join the war on her behalf. She gets to this manor, and the person she's being asked to treat is the lead crazy killer of the army of the opposite side of the war, who's been missing. And there's a mystery involving missing soldiers and a plague that is taking down this household, and it's really isolated and snowy and creepy, and the enemies to lovers vibes. Immaculate. So he's like on his deathbed the first time she meets him, and she goes to like take stock of his like general health, because she's like a healer and she's taken a vow not to like kill people, and she's like really almost too soft-hearted sometimes. Like, she sometimes makes bad choices because she wants to believe the best in people, and she's like, I could kill him, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna go like check his pulse and his vitals and all that. And he is immediately like, oh, a threat. I'm gonna strangle this person because I don't know if she's trying to help me or not. And it's just an excellent first meeting for a potential partner, don't you think? I think so. But yeah, it's true like enemies to lovers dynamic. Like, they really do not like each other at the beginning, and then they have to reluctantly agree to help each other because they're both trying to solve the same mystery, the enemy of my enemy and all that. It was so good, and I love Alison Saft's writing, and yeah, this and A Far Wilder Magic is like solidified Alison Saft as one of my most like anticipated authors going forward. And I really enjoyed this, and I didn't expect to. And this is definitely not going to be for everybody, so like the atmosphere could be creepier. I wanted it to be creepier at times. The relationship, not going to be for everyone. The like found family vibes don't take up like too much of the plot. It's not going to be for everybody, but for me this worked so well. I had such a good time. So yeah, this definitely goes a deal. Definitely an adventure. Definitely features royalty. It's not dystopian. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride was the only one that covered an Asian author. Sadly, do not have a massive amount of Asian authors on my list, and none of them were creepy, whereas The Last Tale of the Flower Bride had its like gothicness going on, you know? And I was trying to read vaguely creepy books this month. This doesn't seem like it was creepy, but I really thought with the tagline Love Makes Monsters of us all, it was going to be creepier. And this is really more of like a wintry book. It's a snow-drenched romantic fantasy, and I thought it was going to be more like gothic, creepy house, monstrous kind of deal. Not mad that it wasn't, but if you go into that expecting it, you might be disappointed. But yeah, not a lot of physical books that I read this week. A lot of ebooks, audiobooks and the like, but nothing below a 3.5 star, and nothing in a series that I'm not planning on continuing. So generally very successful. Very mad that I did not read The Princess Will Save You. Like, truly furious. Because I could have got so many extra points for that, because I read every other prompt. It's fine, I'm not bitter about it. It's fine. Princess may have lost, but in my heart I won, because I was slumping so badly at the beginning of this month. It's fine. We came back. 9 books is a decent amount of books, I think. And yeah, that is everything for me. I'm gonna go now because I need to take off my makeup and hydrate a little bit. And I will see you in another video, hopefully soon. I'm planning on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday upload schedule going forward for the next at least 2 months. So fingers crossed that I can stick to it. And like, comment, subscribe if you would like to. Everything is linked down below. If you would like to follow me on any other social media, I'm usually happy to talk to you. If not, it means I'm having a bad day and I will get back to you eventually. And that's actually it now, so bye.